Another week, boys, and another TWAB. This week at Bungie, we see you. Welcome to the TWAB. If this is your first time reading one of these, welcome and thank you for taking the time. We write one every week to share important info about the game, fun stuff we're doing on the side, and also highlight some cool creations from the community. We know there's a whole internet full of dance videos and cats doing funny stuff, so we appreciate all readers, new and old. Anyways, let's get into it. We've got reports that Guardians are continuing to explore the Glycan, the derelict ship at the heart of the Presage mission, and this week, they're claiming a new ghost shell for their efforts. We also introduced a new tech blog earlier this week. If you want an in-depth look at the nuts and bolts that make Destiny 2 tick, check out our write-up on hunting down hard-to-find bugs that were affecting bounty progress. The big buzz around the community this week has been players finding out a way to cram 4 fire teams into activities meant for 1. We've been watching the 12-player raid hype and are glad that you're enjoying yourselves. We aren't rushing out a fix for this, and it's totally fine if you want to try it out and have some fun. What? Just keep in mind that we didn't create these activities expecting a clown car of Guardians to roll up, so you may experience some weirdness. We are planning to fix this before Grandmaster Nightfalls begin on March 16, but you are free to party up until the fix goes live. That's actually pretty amazing that Bungie's cool with it. We haven't done it yet. I actually want to do a stream here this weekend. We're going to collect a fire team together. We're going to 12-man some stuff. But as far as I've seen, I think you can 12-man pretty much anything. You can do the raids 12-man. You can do strikes 12-man. And I know it's led some people to ask, will 12-man raids ever become a thing in the future? I would say probably not. I mean, that is something that would be cool, but man, just juggling 6 people in a raid team, I think is plenty. To double that, holy hell. Can you imagine the chaos? And on top of that, there are people out there that have a difficult enough time finding a fire team for 3. So if 12-man ever becomes a thing that Bungie does, I think they need to add matchmaking queues for everything in the game. Like, I know we got LFG. I know we have other ways, Discords and other things for people to link up with others. By the way, we have a great Discord. Come check it out. But as cool as this 12-man thing is, I don't think this is going to be a permanent thing in the future. I don't think we're going to get 12-man raids anytime soon. And if Bungie was to ever include that, the solo player definitely can't be left behind. At the same time, you can't structure everything for just the solo player, right? There's a fine balance between both of these. But either way it goes, guys, a fix for that won't be actually put out until the 16th of March. Moving on, International Women's Day. Yes, women at Bungie. As we spring into March, we welcome Women's History Month. It is a time to commemorate and celebrate the vital role that women have played in American history. The month of March serves as a monument to the success of women and urges us to reflect on critical strides that have been set forth through years of action and perseverance. Alrighty, that's right, guys. With all these things, Bungie always includes an emblem. Actually, beginning on March the 8th, Bungie will be celebrating International Women's Day, and upon buying one of these pins, you will also receive one of these emblems, which is a pretty cool looking emblem. I'm not a big emblem collector. I'm really not a big collector. I'm a terrible gamer in that aspect, but I do know friends that just gotta have everything, especially when it comes to emblems. So yeah, new emblem. Big shout out to the ladies though. Moving on, nothing personal kit. We've heard feedback that enemies are a bit more teleporty since the launch of Beyond Lights, especially now in activities like Battlegrounds and Gambit. We've noticed this happening as well and have been investigating. There are several reasons why an AI can teleport in Destiny. For example, we would rather teleport a boss that is stuck behind a door than have a player be unable to finish a mission. However, we believe that most of the recent uptick has been caused by a new issue with some of our networking logic. You may remember a TWAB from last September where we mentioned that some under-the-hood changes we would be making in the 3.0.0 update and how we expected there might be bugs and side effects. One of the big changes we made is that previously we had 2 streams of networking traffic. One for gameplay, simulation stuff like AI, and another for handling activity stuff like playing music, showing mission objectives, playing dialogue, etc. With update 3.0.0, we combined this traffic into a single stream. Think of it as having 2 highways for different types of cars, and then one day you close one highway and plan to have a one wider highway to handle all the cars. Unfortunately, we underestimated how much additional traffic there would be, and we need to do some additional work here to add lanes. Another thing added to the traffic are the tons of Cabal enemies wielding flamethrowers in Season of the Chosen, especially in Battlegrounds. Continuing the highway analogy, flamethrowers are like tanker trucks. They're notoriously taxing, and in this case, are creating a lot of network usage. We have some improvement to their efficiency that should help in an update schedule for later this month. As many of you noticed, we created encounters chock full of enemies in Season of the Chosen. We've heard that it's super fun to take on a large amount of enemies, but spawning all of this AI quickly, especially in some of the battlegrounds, may also be contributing to the teleporting issues as networking pipelines try to handle this load. Spawning enemies rapidly is like a big sporting event driving up traffic. We're working on improvements for how we handle network traffic and think it will reduce the amount of teleporting. Of course, we'll never completely eliminate it because player-facing teleporting can be caused by internet hiccups, but we hope to significantly reduce the frequency. We're also looking at some targeted content fixes where enemies are spawned into a bad place and teleport because of issues with their pathing. All right, so the main takeaway, guys, yes, Bungie and its networking infrastructure could always get better. I've noticed an issue, even inside of Crucible, it's gotten worse. But inside of PvE, I think a huge contributor to this is just the density of enemies, right? Like take Battlegrounds, take the new strikes, like Devil's Lair, the amount of enemies that are spawning in. It's incredible. It's a lot of fun. You really feel overwhelmed with the amount of enemies that are just raining down on you. That, of course, causes problems, though, with networking, which is why the frequency of enemies just kind of bugging out has gone up. Hopefully, Bungie gets this fixed. But moving on, Bungie also had a raid along yesterday where essentially the raid team did a deep stone deep dive. For those that want to check it out, there will be a link in the description. We were actually in the middle of testing Aeon Gauntlets or Ion Gauntlets, whatever, so I didn't actually get to watch it, but it is a good read for those that are just curious about the raid, its inception, and I gotta say, just the atmosphere of the Deep Stone Crypt is so good. Next up, Bungie also released some concept art for Festival of the Lost. I know Festival of the Lost is way off, but Bungie's actually taken votes for these armor sets. You have one armor, which is like movie monsters versus dinosaurs, okay? Honestly, it's kind of cool that Bungie's allowing us to vote for stuff like this. Dude, one day, I'm serious, you're gonna have in-game voting. You see it in other games, but you're gonna have features pop up in-game. You're gonna be able to view them and then vote on them from within the game. You'll suddenly get a notification. You want Destiny Battle Royale? Well, hell yeah! Next up, we also have Prime Gaming. Oh yes, for my folks out there that always drops the sexy primes, thank you so much. Yeah. You get nasty rewards, including the ship and sparrow and emotes and whatever this thing is, which takes us to known issues in the game. This includes the Lightseeker Triumph, which Bungie states with the release of Destiny 2 hotfix 3.1.0.2 earlier this week, an issue was resolved where the Lightseeker Triumph did not complete for players after they have found all weekly feathers for the Bird of Prey quests. Also, the Frozen in Time ornament. Bungie's currently investigating an issue where owners of the Beyond Light Digital Deluxe Edition cannot equip their Frozen in Time ornament for their No Time to Explain exotic pulse rifle. Now, the big one is, of course, Trials with Cyrus. Last weekend, Trials with Cyrus was disabled due to unexpected issues. While these issues are being investigated, Trials with Cyrus will be unavailable to players. We will have more information when it becomes available. Dude, that's crazy. So essentially, guys, what happened last week, and we covered it earlier, but there was win trading, like an entire conspiracy revolving around hockey emblems, who you match, and rolling dice. Sounds nuts, but it was working. People were going flawless here on PC, despite there being cheaters and recoveries and other things. And they were doing it with little to no risk due to this exploit and them essentially outmaneuvering Bungie's rematch making. What's crazy is how quickly Bungie moved in on this. And yeah, Trials is canceled. For how long? I have no idea. I guess a short-term fix would be just to remove rematch making, which is the only reason why this was able to even work. Regardless though, yeah, Trials is canceled, man. Well, guys, that is pretty much your TWAB. Cosmo does leave us with a final note. We've been having a ton of fun this season. Big battles, spooky ships, good rewards, live streams, and some big news dropping last week in case you missed it. And the season ain't over yet. We still have a few more beats for you, including the new strike. That's right, we do have a new strike coming up. Thanks for playing Cosmo. All right, guys, that's your TWAB. I hate to bring the bad news, man, that Trials is canceled. Nothing really crazy outside of that. Hopefully, Bungie does get a fix for Trials. Maybe they're gonna roll it out with their rework, right? I mean, that's kind of been speculated that a rework is coming, but I kind of just thought that was gonna be way off in the future. But this isn't the first time that Trials has been canceled, and Trials has been canceled before. What was it, 4 weeks? Was it 4 weeks or 5 weeks? And then before that, Trials was canceled for like a whole year. Now, I don't think it's gonna get to that point, but I do think Trials may be canceled for the next few weeks, as they didn't really even put a date up on when this is gonna be addressed. Well, fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.